What's up, guys? It's Hayden.
And I'm Emma, and welcome back to our channel where we'll be reviewing the latest film releases, some old favourites, and films we probably should have seen by now. Today's video we'll be talking about a film that was actually recommended to us by one of our subscribers and our dear friend Blake McDonald. Shout out to you, buddy.
Cheers, bud.
This film I actually have seen. This is my second time viewing it, but first for you.
First one for me. Yeah, once again, I'm a bit slow on the uptake. Yeah.
But that film today that we'll be reviewing is The Wrestler. Do you want to take it away?
Yeah, The Wrestler. Darren Aronofsky film. Very normal by his standards.
Yeah, not...
He's known for his more art housey kind of movies. You know,
Not a film
Requiem
like
for
that
a
at all,
Dream,
really.
Black Swan, Mother. But this is a normal movie. And it follows Mickey Rourke's character, the Ram, who is a washed-up wrestler. He's doing a lot of the independent circuits. He's broke. He's dealing with some family issues, so he's got an estranged daughter. And the movie's about him just being at home in the ring and his family being the other wrestlers, and just what happens when you can no longer do what you love to do, and how people deal with that.
Yeah, it was quite an emotional storyline. I wasn't expecting it at all because,
No.
I mean, you hear the name wrestler, and if you're not into wrestling like me, sorry. But yeah, I was really taken aback by how much I enjoyed the film.
Well, it's not a sport movie, it's a drama.
No, it's full drama. It's obviously follows someone who's in the wrestling and the sporting industry, but it follows his personal journey with it and also with relationships, and it was quite a tearjerker at times.
It was, and I think the thing I love about this movie the most is the way it tells its story. The storytelling is spot on. Within the first few scenes of the film, I think the first 3 to 5 scenes of the film, you learn everything that you need to know about Mickey Rourke's character. You know that he's a washed-up wrestler doing the independent circuit. You know that he's at home in the ring. His family are the other wrestlers. You know that he's broke. He's struggling to pay his rent. You know, has to sleep in his car from time to time. His family is broken. He's got a lot of family issues. He's got an estranged daughter. And you also learn that very early on that the guy's got a heart.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just sadly ironic that that's the thing that eventually ends up failing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the dude has so much to give. He's got a big heart, a lot of compassion. And that shows a lot through the opening few scenes where you find him kind of mentoring the younger wrestlers and just, signing autographs and all that. And also when he sleeps in his car for the first time and then he gets woken up by the kids, they're kind of knocking on his door trying to wake him up, and instead of getting angry, he goes out there and he starts, doing wrestling moves with them.
He's probably used to it. Yeah, he goes out and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?"
Yeah. So, and that's probably in the first, few scenes, 3 to 5 scenes of the movie, and you learn everything you need to know about that character.
It sets the film up really well. So
and not a lot of dialogue either. It's just all in the visuals. And there's no, expositional dialogue or anything. Just how the scenes play out. And you just learn everything you need to know about the character, and that's just great storytelling, and that sets it up beautifully.
Yeah, I think that it was good that they kind of knocked it on their head, so that they could dive in a bit deeper throughout the film, and go a bit more into detail about the relationships that we will come to know. Yeah.
And as you follow his story, and he's wrestling and doing all these independent shows. And then his heart gives out, and the doctors say you can't do this anymore. You can't wrestle, and that's the one thing that he loves and the one place he feels at home. And it's about how he deals with that situation, and that kind of makes the core of this story.
And so he's quite down on his luck, and just really living to get by. But when he tries to rekindle that relationship with his daughter, he wants to do better for himself and for her, and realizes he does need to get a real job, as much as he doesn't want to, and he very reluctantly agrees to take on the job at the front of house at the deli. And I really liked how they introduced his first day on that job, where you follow him through the back end of the supermarket, and you quietly hear the cheering of the crowd, like you would, when he's about to come out into the ring, you know, yeah, ram. Like,
So his mind's still on wrestling.
Yeah, it's still on, and it's almost like, he's working psyching himself up for his first day on this very mundane job, and he gets to the curtain to where he comes out into the shop floor, and then the cheering stops, and it's like, ugh, back to the real world. And I really liked how they did that, and you can really see first day he doesn't want to be there. It's not for him, but in saying that, within a few minutes he's like, all right, let's make light of a bad situation.
He perks up, doesn't he?
He perks up and really tries to make the most of it and starts having a bit of banter with the customers. And
I loved that scene.
That was such a fun scene. Like,
it really just shows the heart this guy has, that he can, take a job like that he obviously doesn't want to be there, he hates, and that he can just have fun with it and really make the best of a situation.
Yeah, that was a really cool thing. And I love the customers' reactions in that scene. They're just like, what is this guy on?
It's like sending the guy like down the aisle so he can like throw the bloody potato salad at him.
Yeah.
The lid flies off like midair. Not in the film, but you can just imagine it.
So that was a really fun scene. And it really just was another thing that made it so real, because, I mean, how many times have we been in mundane jobs and you're just like, I don't want to be here, but you just got to make the most of it and have a bit of fun with it. I worked in retail for 8 years, and some of the stuff that me and the crew got up to, I'm pretty sure we had like a fruit fight out the back dock one day. I think there was some grapes and stuff thrown around, and I think when I left, the stains were still on the walls. So yeah, I definitely kind of, related to that. Yeah. And then ultimately we see it does take a toll. He's really missing the ring. He just doesn't care anymore that if he goes back to that life, it's going to affect his health, it's going to affect him financially. But that's where he's meant to be. That's his love, that's his passion, and he's just not getting anything out of life, staying at this deli, working this mundane job every day just to get by. He'd rather just rough it and do what he loves. And I loved how he ended up quitting that job. You see, it's
he commits to
again,
it.
so like relatable in the real world. How you've got this.
How we imagine we want to quit,
how
but we never do. How you imagine
you want to quit, although minus the graphic, the graphic scene there.
Shows his thumb in a meat slicer.
Just to get out, and then smears it across his face to shock the customers, and then I'm out. Like, I
want some cheese? Here's your cheese.
Yeah. So no, I thought that was a really cool scene. And yeah, we see him jump back in the ring.
And it doesn't help too that the other parts of his life outside the ring start to fall apart as well. So he rekindles that relationship with his daughter, and then he screws things up there. He almost starts a relationship with the stripper, and that kind of fails. And it's kind of like a domino effect. So I think the relationship falls apart, which makes him want to party and do drugs, which makes him miss the dinner with his daughter, and then when that relationship breaks down, he realizes he's got nothing left. The only thing he has is the ring, and that's where he feels at home. That's the only place he feels loved. And the wrestlers are his family. That's the only family he's got left. And it's very bittersweet.
Yeah.
The ending.
Yeah.
So I love the storytelling. It's one of my favorite things about this movie, and it's the thing that sucked me in and kept me in it the whole time.
Yeah, it was a very engaging storyline, and I mean the performances also helped. We had
Mickey
a great
Rourke's best
cast.
performance by far. Nominated for an Oscar, won a BAFTA and a Golden Globe for his performance.
Yep, very well deserved.
Yep, the supporting actress who plays his love interest, the stripper.
Marisa Tomei, I believe.
So she was also...
I hope I said that right.
She was also nominated for a bunch of awards, I think, for an Oscar, a BAFTA, and a Golden Globe just as well.
Yep.
So yeah, great acting, great direction as well. Darren Aronofsky gives them a lot of freedom in this film, so there were a lot of scenes that were improvised.
Yeah.
So it gives these actors a lot of room to breathe, but then at the same time pushes them to be their best.
Yeah, yeah. We checked out the behind the scenes video after we watched the films. We love diving into some behind the scenes footage, and yeah, it was interesting hearing the actors say. Evan Rachel Wood's also in it, and she touches.
She plays
on
the daughter, the strange daughter,
Mickey Rourke's daughter, and she touched on how Darren really pushed her and a lot of the cast in their role while the script was there, he did also allow them to improvise and to just really get in there and give it all they've got. And I think they absolutely nailed. All of the performances were fantastic.
And I think the best directors do that. You, as a director, you don't want to tell the actor, this is exactly how I want you to do this, and this. You want to give them their motives, their backstory, what they're feeling in that particular moment. And let them workshop it with you.
Yeah.
And Darren Aronofsky does that really well. He gives them, obviously lets them know how they should be feeling, what their motives are and all that throughout. But then gives them room to breathe and gives them room to improvise. And that creates some really real, raw performances.
Yeah.
And speaking of real and raw, the cinematography was a very documentary style. A lot of the situations and scenarios were real locations, real events. So all the wrestling events, I'm pretty sure, were real. And they'd literally just slot like Mickey Rourke and the other like wrestler in on the card, and just kind of prep the audience up. But they were like real events. Some of the other people in some of the other scenes, I think like the butcher scenes and all that, I think were real people. So real people in real scenarios, real events, real locations, and that obviously lent itself to realistic lighting. So I don't actually think they added much to these locations. It seemed like from the behind the scenes that a lot of the event lighting was just the lighting that they'd set up for the venue that was already there.
Yeah.
The supermarket just had the fluoros from the roof. And that really lent itself well to the story and the acting and kept it really real and raw, which made you relate more to the story, to the characters, because you
seeing them in real world settings.
It made it more realistic, which I loved. I think they all worked really well together.
Yeah, I thought that was a really clever and interesting choice to have the wrestling matches at actual wrestling matches, and have him working in a real life deli, and the workers who were in the scene are actually also workers there, I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure the exact amount of actors to
No, they
people,
definitely still got in extras, but they did keep on some of the people who already worked there, which I thought was really cool. Yeah. I mean, it was apparently quite a small budget, so
very small budget.
Lucky that they could utilise the venues like that and the people.
Yeah, because it was only his second film. I think he just came off Requiem for a Dream. So it was only like, I think it was one of his early films. And I think Mickey Rourke wasn't a big name around that. I think he fell from grace a little bit around that time. This was his comeback film. But yeah, I think they did great on the budget that they had.
Yeah.
Obviously because it's, a beautiful film, and it's obviously been nominated for all these awards, and Darren Aronofsky got the best out of his actors, best out of the locations, the lighting, the cinematography. He really kind of pushed all of those elements to their limit. Great soundtrack as well.
Really good soundtrack.
Yeah. Love that 80s hair metal soundtrack.
Absolutely.
Big fan. I know a lot of people hate that era of music. They think it's cheesy.
What's wrong with you?
Exactly. What's wrong with you? Lighten up. But we love it. So love that that soundtrack. Guns N' Roses. The Ram comes out this thing, Sweet Child of Mine at one stage, which is great. And the original score as well. I didn't realize until we watched the behind the scenes that Slash actually did some music for the score.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
That was
really
awesome.
Cool.
I'm a big Slash fan, so good to see him there doing something a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, great score. And thinking about it a little bit more, it could be reflective of how the Ram is kind of stuck in the past. Because it is kind of like a modern day-ish film for when it was made.
Yeah.
Because they do mention that they hated the 90s.
90s sucked. 90s sucked.
And so they are kind of stuck in the past, at the 80s, when he was in his prime. And I think that's kind of the music, the score, the soundtrack is very representative of that.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a great time in your life, you'll want to hold on to as much of that as you can. So if, he was prime in the 80s, then it makes sense to be into the 80s music.
They say they hate the 90s, but the 90s was actually my era. Like, I was born 89, grew up in the 90s, so I have fond memories of the 90s, and that's kind of my thing. So
but have a big love for the 80s too.
Oh, I love that 80s. I consider myself an 80 kid. I scraped in. I scraped in.
You still scraped in, yeah.
And the ending. The ending, I don't know how to feel about it. Because I kind of looked at you about halfway through and I'm like, I bet you want to know how it ends.
And I was like, even though I've seen this before, I actually don't remember how it ends. But then it clicked. I remember there was this shot in the final scene. I was like, oh wait, it's just come back. I know what's going to happen and you're not going to like it.
So I predicted that he would get back in the ring, doing what he loves, and he would die in the ring. That was my prediction. And I was so close.
It definitely leads up like that.
Leads up to it. I was so close. And then he goes off the top rope. It cuts to black and credits roll, and you don't know. It just leaves it up in the air. And I didn't know how to feel about it. I just didn't know.
You were just like, what?
What?
You're just like, we need closure.
I needed closure. I don't mind some films that leave it up in the air, but for that one, I don't know. I felt like I might have just wanted some closure on that one.
Did he win and did he survive? Did he win and then die? Did he just die when he hit the ground? We don't know.
I don't know.
And we'll never know.
But I think that's probably the only way they could have gone with that storyline. Like, I think he needed to get back in the ring despite his health issues, knowing that he could die. I think they had to do that. And maybe they looked at it. Maybe they looked at it and said, this is too predictable. Yeah. Let's leave it up in the air.
Yeah, we'll leave it up to the
audience. I bet you they had that
interpret
conversation. They're like, everyone knows this is coming. We'll just cut it off as he flies off the top rope and leave it up in the air.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they thought to leave it on a high. If you'll pardon the pun, because he's up high. Sorry, that was bad.
It's like a joke my dad would make.
I'll leave.
On that note, we probably should leave because I think we're done.
I think that's pretty much is our review. Definitely go see it if you haven't, because it is a fantastic film. I've now seen it twice, as I said, for someone who doesn't like wrestling. Sorry for all you wrestling lovers. I can't get into it, but I do have a newfound appreciation for it. I mean, they do take a beating that I was just didn't realize, but it was a beautiful film, really dramatic, some really emotional storylines there, and
perfectly directed, perfectly acted.
Definitely go see it if you haven't already. It's been out for a while, but if you haven't, check it out, definitely. Yeah,
absolutely. So let us know your thoughts on The Wrestler below. If you like this video, slam that like button, subscribe to our channel, and also give us your recommendations, you know, and you could get a shout out on our next video.
We'd love to know what you're watching, what your favorites are, even films you didn't like. Like, we'd love to know them too, and give them a watch if we haven't seen them.
Because we haven't done a bad movie yet. Like, all of our reviews so far have been positive reviews. So we'd love just a real trashy movie just to tear apart. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, or maybe, give us something that you don't like and maybe we'll end up liking it. Don't know. Never know what you're going to do.
Yeah, which way we're going to go. We're crazy like that.
Not that crazy.
Anyway, guys, I think we are getting crazy because it's getting late. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.